quite a lengthy statement to read today, at least which will bring you up to speed with everything that's taken place so far at the presidency. As you know, the president has completed his tour of all the regions of the country, with the last one being the Greater Accra region. In summary, and in terms of numbers, this is what the president has done in 6 months in his visits to the 16 regions of the country. He has commissioned 12 factories in different districts in the country in furtherance of the one district, one factory policy, which is so far bringing some 278 industrial enterprises into being, 104 of which have been completed. He inspected and commissioned 10 different hospital infrastructures, commissioned the new Regional Coordinating Council building for the Western North region, and inspected ongoing work on the remaining 5. He also commissioned 7 newly constructed district and municipal assembly district buildings. He inspected ongoing work on 8 separate educational infrastructure. He commissioned a number of key infrastructural projects for the fire service and the military. He inspected ongoing work at the Kumasi International Airport, and also commissioned a number of water projects as well as waste management projects across the country, all within the period of 6 months. All in all, I can say that these tours have been extremely fruitful and have brought to the fore the considerable amount of work that has been undertaken by the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the growth and development of Ghana, as well as the enhancement of the well-being of the Ghanaian people. The Vice President's recent speech at Ashase University has also provided a further dimension to the scope of work that the Akufo-Addo government has undertaken in the country during its mandate. Any objective observer of the Ghanaian scene can testify readily to the significant transformation of our national landscape that has taken place during the Akufo-Addo era, which the Ghanaian people acknowledged in the decisive victory they gave him in the last general elections some 10 months ago for his second term. Now, since our last briefing, the president has also undertaken 2 trips outside of the country. He attended the COP26 summit in Glasgow, Scotland, and on Tuesday, he returned from a 24-hour official visit to the island of Cape Verde, having attended the swearing-in ceremony of that country's president-elect, His Excellency Dr. José Maria Neves, in his capacity as chairperson of the Authority of Heads of State of ECOWAS, of which Cape Verde is a member. Now, with reference to the COP26, the president reiterated Ghana's position on climate change and the steps being taken to combat it. He, however, reiterated that the fight should not compromise Ghana's development. He also delivered statements on what Ghana is doing to protect her forest and her oceans. Now, one matter that has since generated some level of controversy is the supposed number of delegates that attended the COP from Ghana. Now, let me state for the record that the government of Ghana did not send or fund 337 Ghanaians to attend COP26. Indeed, there are 3 categories of persons who were permitted to attend COP26. And these are 1, United Nations and related organizations and agencies; 2, media and non-profit organizations with observer status; and 3, representatives of parties to the convention and observer states. From what we've seen so far, it has been shown that not all 337 persons who registered as participants indeed attended the summit. There were media personalities as well as reps from TSOs who were captured on the list of 337 persons, and who have also confirmed that their trip to Glasgow was not funded by government. So for the avoidance of doubt, let me place on record that the official presidential delegation, emphasis on presidential delegation, comprised of 24 persons, including the president, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, the Minister for Energy, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, and the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation, as well as officials of the Presidency and Foreign Ministry. Now, let me move on and touch on some recent comments that have been made by the President of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Philip Name, at the Catholic Bishops' Conference held in Wa, capital of the Upper West region. Of particular interest to us at the Presidency are the comments made by the respected Catholic bishop to the effect that, and I quote, "The expressed commitment of the President of the Republic to protect the public purse, a promise that citizens welcomed seems to be an illusion now. Inasmuch as this administration is extremely tolerant of divergent views and welcomes criticisms of its work, we believe that these criticisms should be well-founded and well-grounded in fact, as this is the only way an honest conversation devoid of malice and propaganda can be held. You all recollect that the President took the oath of office on 7th of January 2017, and again on 7th of January 2021, and on both occasions, he pledged to protect the public purse, and that is exactly what he has done and he continues to do. Indeed, the transformation that has taken place in all aspects of national life point to an economy that has been well managed, a public purse that is being well protected, and the benefits are showing. Indeed, if President Akufo-Addo had superintended over the wanton dissipation of public funds, firstly, the Ghanaian people would not have reposed their confidence in him barely 10 months ago by returning a decisive margin of victory for him in the 2020 elections. Now, free SHS, which guarantees a minimum of senior high school education for all Ghanaian children and has already granted access to some more than 400,000 children, would not have been possible if the public purse was not being protected. Now, Planting for Food and Jobs, which has brought 1.5 million farmers into its orbit, who now enjoy subsidized inputs, fertilizers, seeds, insecticides, as well as other inputs, and which has ensured that Ghana no longer has to import food from her neighboring countries like tomatoes and plantain, but currently is rather a net exporter of foodstuffs within the ECOWAS community. This would not have been possible if indeed the public purse was not being protected. Now today, through the prudent use of public resources, 104 factories through government's 1D1F initiative are operating and are providing jobs for thousands of unemployed Ghanaians. 150 more factories are under construction, and the remaining 24 are at mobilization stage, and will provide more jobs for residents of the districts, particularly our youth. Indeed, if indeed the protection of the public purse was a mirage, the Akufo-Addo government would not have found the means to employ hundreds of thousands of teachers and medical professionals who, before the coming into office of this administration, were literally sitting at home twiddling their thumbs. NAPCO, which has brought relief to some 100,000 graduates, would not have been feasible if the public purse was not being protected. The effective rollout of the National Identification Card, which has seen some 15.6 million Ghanaians issued with ID cards, up from the 700,000 issued under the 8 years of the Mills Mahama government, would also not have been possible if the public purse was not being protected. Now, government has also found the resources to undertake the largest construction of road infrastructure, literally in Ghana's history. Ghana, under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has recently been adjudged as the first place to do business in West Africa. Now, human memory may be short, but it cannot be so short that we've forgotten the free food, free electricity, and free water that were provided en masse by government to the most vulnerable in society during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The extensive measures taken by government during the crisis, which are still ongoing, went a long way to protect the Ghanaian people, a feat that was widely acknowledged across the world. Indeed, there were many who felt safer here in Ghana than in many so-called advanced countries because of the way government took control over the spread of the virus. Now, currently, government is engaged in paying up the energy legacy debts inherited, again, from the Mahama government, and we have cleared the 1.2 billion CD NHIS debt we inherited. All of these, again, could not have been achieved by a government that has lost touch with the problems of Ghanaians, or by one that is presiding over the reckless dissipation of the public purse. In the midst of COVID-19, when most of the economies of the world found themselves in a recession, Ghana was one of the few economies that reported positive growth. High fuel prices, high freight charges, rising cost of living are currently not a Ghanaian phenomena. They are the order of the day across the globe, unfortunately. Just as every country is confronted with these challenges, difficult, if I may say, largely as a result of the impact of COVID-19, Ghana under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is making every effort through the Ghana Cares Obatampa program to alleviate the hardships brought forth by the pandemic. Now, it is important to state that the Akufo-Addo government will continue to work for the development of Ghana and help improve the living standards of all Ghanaians. Far from being out of touch, this government is highly focused on delivering its mandate. Now, in the course of this afternoon, the President will lead the Ghanaian delegation to attend UNESCO's 75th anniversary ceremony, which is being held at its headquarters in Paris. The UN Charter, which came into effect on 16th November 1945, provided for the creation of a specialized agency in the fields of education and culture. And the President will, on Friday, 12th November, deliver a statement on the impact UNESCO has had in Ghana and what Ghana expects from UNESCO in the coming years. President Akufo-Addo will, from Saturday, 13th November to Saturday, 20th November, take a much-deserved, long overdue 7-day leave of absence, during which he has also accepted an invitation to preside over the panel that would adjudicate a debate in the French Parliament on the trial of progress on 19th of November. He's expected to come back to Ghana on Saturday, 20th of November, and in his absence, the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, will act in his stead. And finally, the President has also taken the decision to honor the late legendary Ghanaian highlife musician Anampidu with a state-assisted burial in honor of his services to the growth of Ghanaian music. Now, this information will be duly communicated to the family of the late singer, and a befitting burial ceremony will be held for this noble son of Ghana. Thank you for your attention, and I'll gladly take your questions now. Yes, Elton. Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Director. Just clarity on the Glasgow participants. And you've mentioned that 24. The 24 represent those. Exactly. So, stretching, does it mean that the presidency only took care of the 24? The other numbers that have been banded around are not, or the expenditure covering that did not come from the presidency. And then the second issue is about what has happened in the Volta region town of Keita, where about 4,000 people have been displaced. I don't know whether the president has briefed on it. What is his position on it? Is the government taking steps to, in the immediacy, address the very concerns of the people? Thank you.
Now, first and foremost, if you take a critical look at that list that has been put out, you realize that majority of the list, or majority of the participants, again, were persons from the media and persons from civil society organizations. Yeah, definitely. As I said, there were four ministers: the Minister for Energy, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, and the Minister for Energy. So definitely, these people, the agencies under them, for example, the EPA, Cocoa Board, some of these agencies are there. But as I said, the majority of the persons who participated or who came from Ghana were persons from CSOs, were persons from media outfits. Even the presidency, normally on these trips, we would ordinarily take a media person. We didn't take a single media person on this trip, at least for the presidency. So, as I said again, not everybody on the 337-member participating list was present. Some undertook participated in some of the events virtually. So let's not stretch this thing too much. Bottom line, at least from us at the presidency, maximum of 24 were taken. End of story. With respect to what's happening in Ketu South, exactly, municipality. Yes, the president has been apprised of this matter. I believe the Minister for Housing, Works and Housing, has also made a comment on it, and he's indicated that currently government is in the process of finding the funds to complete phase 2 of this project. You recall that phase 1 of this project was completed in 2019, and I think sometime in April this year, feasibility studies for phase 2 of the project was completed. And as I said, God willing, very soon government should be able to find the funds to be able to do this. But once that happens, the Minister for Works and Housing would definitely apprise the country of whatever is supposed to take place with regards to that. Thank you.
Right. Thank you again. So, government position on the criticism from the Catholic Bishop Conference, is it your understanding that the is ill-informed, not based on facts? Perhaps they are not apprised with developments ongoing in the country that may have influenced their verdict on how government has handled the public purse?
There's no way I'll say that the Catholic Bishops' Conference is ill-informed, no. But we are in a democracy. Everybody has divergent opinions about what is happening with respect to the affairs of the state. I mean, the opinion of the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the president is not protecting the public purse, or the pledge to protect the public purse is now an illusion under the president. I have offered a different point of view with respect to everything the government has done since taking office on the 7th of January 2017, right till now. And I have explained, at least from our point of view, what the president has done in overseeing to the developments we are currently seeing in every aspect of national life. So, again, in a democracy, he has his opinion on the subject matter. I wouldn't fault him for that. But likewise, we in government also have an opinion about what is going on, and I've outlined everything that we have done. Examples, not everything, examples of some of the things we have done to show that the president, on the contrary, is not presiding over the dissipation of public funds, but rather, on the contrary, through the examples I've given, you can see that we are rather doing a lot with the scarce resources at our disposal for the development, progress, and prosperity of Ghana, as well as the enhancement of the livelihoods of every Ghanaian. So that's what I've done. On the contrary, Alton.
Okay, thank you, Director. I'm also coming from the Catholic Bishop, then bringing in the former president who ended his thank you tour just yesterday. And he seems to have a problem with the NPP, the former president, Mahama. He has a problem with the NPP responding to the Catholic Bishop. If I should be precise, he quoted Communications Director Boabing Asamoah, and his point is that the bishops are just expressing the concerns of Ghanaians, so there was no point in the Communications Director responding to it. It seems to suggest that he's saying the NPP, and by extension the government, are not ready to accept criticisms. But during his tour, he's also stating that there are so much hardship in the country, and in fact, the upcoming budget is going to introduce more hardship. So, tying in these things, can you assure us that the budget first is not going to, okay, let me put it this way, is going to cut so many or address so many concerns in the country for which the Catholic Bishop came out to talk about, and the former president is also reiterating? Thank you.
My simple response to what you just said with respect to what the former president said is, at least the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is not operating a Yentiobia government. We listen to the concerns of everybody. We don't come out attacking anybody for whatever concerns or reservations they have expressed. Indeed, all the Director of Communications for the NPP did was to state that the statement by the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference lacked clarity. He didn't attack him. He just said, if you could provide, to use the word, further and better particulars about what in his opinion is the president's lack of commitment to protect the public purse. Just give as examples, and then let us, on our own, also respond to those examples you cite. That's all he said. He said just bring clarity. He didn't attack the Catholic Bishops Conference. He didn't attack the president of the Catholic Bishops Conference. On the contrary, he said whatever it is they want to put forward, at least we are listening government will listen to it. And just as I have done right now, I didn't attack the president of the Catholic Bishops Conference either. All I just put out were my point or the government's point of view with respect to the subject matter. Again, democracy, all of us are entitled to our opinions. We put varying facts together and we just debate them. Bottom line is, we are all looking for the growth and development of Mother Ghana. End of story. That's all we are looking for. So, on the contrary, I don't think anybody from government has attacked anybody in the clergy or has attacked the Catholic Bishops Conference or has stated anywhere that we are another kind of government. Now, secondly, with respect to the budget and with respect to the hardships or the criticism of hardships that are being leveled by the former president, yes, everybody in Ghana acknowledges that there are hardships. Even the president himself has acknowledged it, and that is why every effort is being put in place to make sure that these hardships are relieved. I mean, it is unfortunately the impact of COVID has been extensive. I mean, most of you have seen or even were watching the news from media outlets outside the country who stated that, for example, in the US, currently gas prices are at a 7-year high. Freight charges from China are skyrocketing, everything, and it's not a Ghanaian phenomena alone. It's worldwide, unfortunately. And it's not as if this government is sitting down and has thrown its hands in despair and waiting for something to be done. Let's say divine intervention from the Almighty. We are going ahead to do whatever it is we have to do. The Minister for Finance has already indicated that we have put in place 100 billion CDs to be able to implement this Ghana Cares Opata program, which will be able to help alleviate some of these problems. On the contrary, instead of imposing hardships, I don't think any president or anybody would delight in doing that to the citizenry. The Minister for Finance is due to read the budget on 15th November, and I'll just suggest that the former president should just take a chill pill and wait, and let's see how best the budget would address the concerns of the average Ghanaian. Bottom line, the president was elected into office to deliver on his agenda, and his agenda has to do with improving every aspect of national life and not imposing hardships. So we'll just wait on the 15th of November. I'm sure certain issues with regards to everything will be put, but let me not just give out anything, but let me just say that on the 15th of November, the Minister for Finance would speak, and then hopefully we can all have takeaways from whatever he will read.
So you mentioned that the president is attending the UNESCO 76th anniversary, 75th. Okay, so we know that UNESCO is essentially UN Education, Science, Cultural Organization. Just to maybe without giving details, what will the presidents be focusing on? And this is going to be on education, free SHS. What's in for the country?
He's going to focus on a number of issues, as I said, relating to, UNESCO is the UN organization basically in charge of literally education and culture. And basically he's going to touch on the impact our relationship with UNESCO since 1958 has been, what we have, let's say, benefited from this particular UN organization, and what, in his opinion, should be the way forward for UNESCO. Going forward into the coming years. So I can't disclose much, unfortunately. But as I said, bottom line, the impact the organization has had on Ghana and what he believes should be the role of UNESCO going forward. That's all I can say for now. Yeah.
Director, thank you very much.
What do you make of the incessant claims from the former president that 1 million votes were added to the president's votes in 2020, and the fact that he's calling for ECOWAS to embark on what he calls independent inquiry into the results of the 2020 election?
Watch with the CID, all right?
Yep, he's still speaking for ECOWAS to come in.
ECOWAS that has President Akuba as the chairperson. Okay, no, this is my personal opinion, and not the opinion of the president. I believe the Constitution of Ghana provided remedies for anybody who believes the results of an election were not credible or were rigged in a certain way. We also saw what happened in 2013 during the election petition, 8-month-long election petition, and we all saw what happened. In the 2020 elections as well, at the end of it, the former president took the matter to court, and all of us saw what transpired. I don't think there was none of the claims made by the NDC at that point in time pointed to 1 million votes or anything like that being stuffed. For me, I mean, this is just an exercise the former president is embarking on, basically to please or pacify supporters. You had the opportunity to be in court, to present whatever evidence you have with respect to irregularities or the election not going on. You had that opportunity, full glare of the cameras. Everybody in Ghana was looking forward to you presenting that evidence. Not even a single pink sheet was presented in the 2021 election petition process. None. Zero. No evidence whatsoever was adduced. Zero. So then again, where from this claim? Indeed, till now, most of their supporters are even asking for their own collated results sheets right from 2016 to 2020. Till date, they haven't been able to provide. They don't even have the numbers. They went to court without the numbers. You heard the general secretary himself saying they didn't. That was not the reason why they came to the court. So for me, that's just in quotes diversionary tactics. Comments being made by the former president to ginger up his support base. Obviously, we know he wants to contest in 2024, so obviously it's all part of the rule book. He has to do all of these things to ginger his support base, energize his supporters to be able to get him another shot at the presidency in 2024. But again, these claims he's making, no facts, no evidence has been presented. You had the opportunity to present these things in court. You failed to do that. You're now throwing these things up in the court of public opinion to do what? I mean, again, diversionary tactics to energize his support base. That's what I can say about what he's doing. Okay, if there are no more questions, then I think we can bring this session to an end. And as I indicated, the president will be taking a 1-week-long leave from the 13th to the 19th, and he returns to Ghana on the 20th. And I'm sure immediately we are back from, he's back from the trip. We shall have a briefing, and then we shall continue to address matters of relevance to the presidency and also with respect to what's going on in the country. Thank you for your attention.